Hello, philosophers. I'm Alex Martinez.
And I'm Sam Mascaro.
And with us this week, we have my friend Gary Peeler.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Gary. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How about you guys?
Good.
I'm all right.
So, welcome to the 5th episode of Film Philosophy. I guess we all apologize for the lack of a show last week. I was under the weather and Sam was out of town, and it would have been a very unpleasant experience to have me have a podcast. So, we have a fairly lengthy show tonight. So let's start off with something that Gary thought of last week after the show to talk about, and something that pertains to me as well and a few other films out there. So go ahead, Gary.
All right, this has to do with something Flood, Alex and I short film we talked about in the past. And it's something I noticed when we were making it, and when we first made it, like the original one, not the remake. And after we made it, and all people, they accredited me with most of the work, and by most of it, I mean all of it. And they're just like, "Oh yeah, Gary Peeler, he made Flood." In reality, without Alex, Flood wouldn't have been possible. And it's something I came up with this term myself, called main character syndrome. No, sorry, main character syndrome. And what it is
You said main character syndrome. Wait, I'm sorry. Main character syndrome.
Well, I thought I messed up the first time, but
You're okay. Go continue.
What it is basically I play the main character in Flood, and I get accredited with, like, the people would just be like, "Oh yeah, Flood, that's Gary Peeler thing." And Alex, you can go ahead and talk about it.
Now, this is not only something that pertains to something between me and Gary with Flood itself. It's actually something that's very noticeable in a lot of movies. Mostly people will be saying, "I'm going to go see that new Adam Sandler movie," or "I'm going to go see that new Tom Cruise movie." And they kind of recognize the movie with the actors itself. Now, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but in a sense, it kind of, I don't know, to me, it feels kind of weak in a sense, because the people that worked on it, the actual people that the entire film wouldn't have been possible without these people. And it's, I don't know, it's just something kind of weird in my mind. And it's mostly my fault for not making myself more, I guess, I don't know what the word is. Do you have the word? But anyways, I wasn't able to show myself very much in it, so.
You weren't really present.
Yeah, there you go. That's the word I was looking for.
Because we didn't have credits, because we made it for a contest, and we cut it down from like 9 or 10 minutes to 7, so we didn't have time for credits, which in reality we probably should have had Alex's name somewhere, because, obviously he has such a huge role in this. And and now this time around, with the remake of Flood, which is far superior in every way, you should go watch it on YouTube at Urban Overlook at YouTube.
Trust me, there will be a link somewhere for that.
Yeah.
We have questions tonight for it, so.
Nice. But even that was like, Alex, this is a story that he told me about someone who was talking to him, and he asked, "So, you helping Gary make Flood?" Or he said something. What do you say exactly, Alex?
This person asked if you were paying me to help you with Flood. And I was like, no, I kind of helped make it. So I was surprised, because that's the first I'd ever, kind of gotten that kind of reaction. And then it just continued from there, so.
Yeah, all the attention is very flattering, and I'm glad it's humbled me, because people, in class or whatever, they think this, like, they think highly of me, I guess, and it's just, it like I said, it's flattering, it's very humbling, but I feel like Alex should get more attention than he does. And even when I presented, like, because Alex and I have the same class but in different periods, and I presented it, like, they wanted me to talk about it just a little bit before we played it, and I did, and I made sure to get Alex's name, be like, it wasn't just me who made this, it was everyone, especially Alex. seeing how we co-created, co-wrote it, and he directed and edited it, which is, crucial to.
And very time consuming. With all the
Yeah.
effects and stuff I had to do, it was very time consuming. And I'm sure Sam knows a lot about how time consuming it is as well.
Oh God. When you have a big project like that, I mean, it'll take just a couple weeks just to be able to get an idea of what you're going to do, and then you got to take even more time to be able to write the script and do all that kind of stuff. And so, it certainly is a very hard thing to do. And in consideration that we're still in high school, it makes it even harder because then you have to try to be able to work that around your school days and your homework and extracurriculars and all that kind of crap.
Yeah,
So-
it's very very time consuming, and at the same time, it's just I don't know. But there's something about finishing a project and being like, oh, hey, I worked on this, and again with the whole main character syndrome type thing, it's like I feel like I should have put my name in more places, but I don't want to be that one person who's like I don't know, like M. Night Shyamalan, where his name's on every title screen they have in his movies. I don't want to take all the credit, but
Right.
I don't want to take none, if that makes any sense.
Sure. Well, I mean, it definitely is a very hard situation to be in. It's just a matter of are you one of those people who wants to have the name, or would you rather have the success? Because there is sometimes a one or the other kind of deal. Because sometimes, if you think about it, if you don't push that name out when it comes to your audience, like for example, if they didn't push Johnny Depp and what's his name in what's it, Orlando Bloom,
Yeah.
they didn't push him in Pirates of the Caribbean, we don't know if maybe it would have been as big a deal as it was. Certainly, without those two characters, it may not have been. And so sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the actors. Now, I give all my respect to actors because they can turn a terrible script, or even they can change it and make it so much better and change it to how they feel like the character should be, and they really become that person. And I can feel how they can feel sometimes whenever they're like, well, I should get most of the credit. And I kind of agree with that in a sense of an actor's term, because an actor does a lot of work. But I don't want to forget the rest of the people that made it possible.
Yeah, it's definitely just not a one-man job. People, a credit flood to me, thinking, I'm responsible for it. And in parts I am, but in other parts it's me and Alex's creation.
Yeah. So let's talk about something very awesome. We have actual several topics to talk about tonight. And the next one is something we all just watched, which is the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer. So what'd you guys think?
I liked it. It looked extremely good. I haven't read any backstory on it, so there are probably some things that I missed that anybody who's probably been in depth when it comes to the comic book and all that kind of stuff probably caught little things here or there. But I mean, from a person who hasn't even read anything about it other than just watching that, I mean, it looks extremely good. Looks like
Yeah,
something
I'm
I
in
want to
the
watch.
same boat as you, Sam. I've even heard of Guardians of the Galaxy before they said, "Oh, we're making a movie," and I haven't researched it at all, and it looked pretty interesting from the trailer.
So this Guardians of the Galaxy is written by and directed by James Gunn, and it has Chris Pratt in it, which is in a movie we watched recently. So
We'll talk about that in a second.
yes, Zoe Saldana, weird name, but Dave Bautista, Vin Diesel,
Dave Bautista's in it?
yeah.
Dude, we're bringing
he's a
WWE
wrestler.
back. We're
Yeah.
bringing WWE.
I didn't know Dave Bautista was in it.
Yeah,
Gosh, that's awesome.
I'll check.
Bro,
what
we
he-
just got
I'll
hype.
check who he plays real quick. He plays Drax the Destroyer.
That I can see because I thought I recognized him. I'm like, man, that guy looks familiar.
We have Vin Diesel playing Groot, Bradley Cooper, who I believe plays Rocket Raccoon, and then we have Lee Pace, who plays Ronan, and a few others who just play miscellaneous characters. But Chris Pratt actually plays Peter Quill, or Star-Lord, who is the main character of Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, for those who don't know what Guardians of the Galaxy is about, it's I don't want to actually say anything about it because I've only read one comic book issue, so I don't really have the authority to tell you anything about it. But it looks really good. The film style, the comedic style, it feels a lot like Joss Whedon's style, which has become really I guess, popular in the Marvel sense, seeing as how much he's contributed to the Avengers and the previous Iron Man and Hulk movies and such like that. So, definitely, I will be going to see this movie, for sure. Now, Chris Pratt also plays Emmett in the Lego Movie,
The Lego Movie. Oh my gosh.
which is an amazing movie.
It was probably one of the best movies and is going to be one of the best movies I'll see all year.
Now, me and Gary both saw it, and along with my younger brother, and I don't. So the entire movie was actually computer animated, except for a few parts which I believe were Lego animations. But it was it's basically the entire movie is computer animated, but the style of it is amazing. And Morgan Freeman's really good in this movie, by the way.
I think all the voice acting was really good, from Morgan Freeman to Will Ferrell,
Will Arnett.
Chris Pratt.
Will Arnett.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson too. Liam Neeson was really good as a bad cop. So
And / good cop.
yeah, / good cop, bad cop. And Morgan Freeman played Vitruvius, I believe. Alison Brie, I don't know who she played. I know that what's his name? You have Channing Tatum, right?
As Superman. Jonah Hill as Green Lantern.
Yeah, and then Will Ferrell plays President Business. So I definitely recommend going to see this movie. Sam, you have not seen it yet, but you have something else you wish to talk about that you saw.
I do. Philosophers, be prepared. I'm going to tell you something, and if you don't listen to me, you're an idiot. You need not ever watch the movie Ride Along. Now, this goes in with the main character syndrome, and let me explain to you why. People believe because it has Kevin Hart, which I believe is a very funny actor, and Ice Cube, which is one of the best rappers of all time, and also a great actor in the movie Friday, they think that
Ignore that, please.
They think that this movie would be good, and in all honesty, this was the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. I literally walked out of that movie as quickly as humanly possible. My little brothers and sisters tried to stand behind me because there was something in the credits, and I was still walking towards the car. It was literally the most wasteful amount of money I could ever put towards in my entire life. If I would have donated that money towards, I don't know, some homeless guy painting a wall, I would have done more good than going and seeing that movie.
Now, just to let you philosophers know that some random number keeps calling me, so I apologize if you hear that. But yeah, me and Gary went to go see this as well, and it I mean, it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad.
You're high.
I thought, seeing it, I had some laughs, but I just didn't. I felt like at points
They felt like forced laughs.
like
in my
they
opinion.
try to get you to laugh, and when other people laughed, I just sat there kind of like, okay.
The problem with this movie was, and I'm one of those people where I've been able to do film long enough to be able to catch stuff that people who are watching films the first time maybe not catch. Like, I'll watch a scene, and if the next scene turns and if it was light in the first scene and it's dark in the next scene, I will tell that. And that happened like a couple times during this film, and it made me mad for the cinematography, because obviously these guys were not cheap on budget. I mean, you have two of the most well-known African-American actors in the entire business, and you're not cheap. You're not going off of whatever, but it just seemed really, really stupid to me. I completely think that there are so many other movies in this world that could be in the top box office hits right now, and if this is even in the top 20, I would think that America is going for somebody else. It's just...
Now, I think that do you have any plans to see Lego Movie this weekend at all?
I very well might. Like, I'm going to see if I can be able to...
If this
head out.
happens, next week we could have an in-depth Lego Movie review, I suppose.
An in-depth.
An in-depth. Because I want to talk about it in depth, but I don't want to spoil anything for you, so I'm trying to keep it, Hey, Gary, buddy, your mic's off.
Sorry, I was gonna say we don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it either. Any of the philosophers out there who haven't seen it and should go see it right now.
Also, I want to make another point. Gary, guess what basketball player plays himself in that movie that I didn't realize?
Yeah, Shaq. You know that?
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
I knew it was Shaq when Shaq made his appearance. I was like, Shaq Fu.
Also, Keegan Michael Key from Key and Peele was in it.
Really? Who did he play?
He played Four-Man Jim and William Shakespeare.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, there's a good cast. There's a lot of really good actors on here.
It wasn't even a kids movie. It was just genuinely funny. Because I saw like older people. I saw me and Alex saw kids in the Lego movie, obviously, but we saw a bunch of older people too, and I thought it was a great movie.
And also some. Now the guy who plays Metalbeard, which is another character from the movie, whenever you guys go see it, very good actor, and he's actually not. I'm looking at it right now, and he was actually in a few TV shows that I watched, anyways, like Parks and Recreation and stuff. But they have besides him, there's a lot of really popular actors on here, which is quite interesting. The cast is quite well fleshed out. So anything else that we need to mention?
In regards to Lego Movie?
I mean, besides that it's an amazing movie, anything just in regards to any of the stuff we just talked about?
Yeah, don't watch Ride Along or you're stupid.
You had some strong opinions about that.
About that movie, yes. Philosophers, I legit got off of the... I walked out of the movie, and the first thing I did was I called Alex, and then the first thing I did after he didn't answer is I called you, Gary, and then...
Yeah, fortunately, Alex and I was at Alex's house, and Alex like, weird, I missed a call from Sam. And I'll call him back later. And then a couple minutes later, I get incoming call from Sam. I'm like, oh man, this must be important. And then Sam, he just gives this very opinionated. I don't want to call it a rant because I agree with it, but
it was so bad.
I mean, you can agree with I guess you can agree with a rant, though. I mean,
it was a rant, and I will tell you that because I did not like it, and I would go and I would egg Kevin Hart's house, and in the eggs would be small little notes that said that movie sucked.
I wonder if you could actually do that. I actually have a
Just wait till Easter.
Actually,
yes.
I have a question for you guys. Have you guys ever seen the movie Megamind?
Yeah, no.
You haven't seen that movie?
No.
Not yet.
It's I saw it a while ago, and
isn't Will Ferrell?
Yes, he plays the main character. Really good movie, and I forgot how good it was until I remembered that Will Ferrell was in it. So, and Brad Pitt as well. So, I believe we should move on to questions now because we do have we have a good amount of questions. So it'll take us a while to answer them. All right. Should we start with yours, Sam, first?
Which one's that?
You're by Lugia Max.
Oh, sure, yeah, if you wanted to do that. That's
all
cool.
right, so the first question is submitted by Lugia or Lugia? Lugia, right? That's a Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
All right, Lugia Max. Sam, what type of political career are you striving for?
I've definitely thought about it. I know I want to go into politics. I'm not completely sure as to what sector of politics, but I definitely know that I want to be immersed into that crowd. The idea that everything and anything can be mashed together into one type of business, one profession, and be able to, I don't want to say control, but be able to affect anything and everything, it seems like a very, very cool job to be able to have. Be able to go off and, I don't know, help kids in Compton as well as be able to save seals in Alaska. I'm not sure, but it's just a cool thing to be able to do, is to, put forth your ideals and be able to try to make a difference. So I have no idea exactly what I want to do. I have a lot of ideas when it comes to certain paths that I might be able to kind of get along with, but yeah. I'm not sure. I'm completely scatterbrained, and if you're 16 years old and you know exactly what you're doing, then I will fall to my knees and praise you because you're one of the many, or one of the least.
It's definitely hard to choose what you want to do because I remember for the longest time before, probably up to like seventh grade, I wanted to like a lot of people in my family are in law enforcement, and that's what I wanted to do too. But then I decided I want to do film, which is I'm glad I did because I have asthma and I'd probably pass out from running.
I've asthma too, but I don't have as bad as asthma. But I know with me with film, anyways. I on our first episode I explained it, but one of my friends, Grant Harris, he got me interested in film. He had a bunch of stuff, and his family had a history, I guess, of being in film. So having that influence, I guess, at a younger age of my friends kind of showed me, hey, look, my friend's doing it. This is kind of fun. And we made stuff together. And I guess it just kind of pushed me in that direction of I kind of know what I want to do. So, all right. So is that the answer?
But yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So next question. I'm going to just do this small one right here first because we have a pretty big one. What's your favorite movie soundtrack? This one is from Chase Young. So
Do you guys want to start off, or do you want me to start off?
you can go ahead and start off because I'm not sure exactly.
All right. Well, I'd have to break this up because it can't be just put into one. When it comes to original score, you know, created and produced by the actual, what's it called? By the actual crew, I would have to say the Harry Potter film series, just because I love the sound effects they use and just the entirety and the what's it called? The iconic sounds that dun, 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 you know that.
That's true. That became a huge icon for the series too. So
Exactly. And so, I mean, it's just one of those things. When it comes to musicals, I'm a huge Les Mis fan, and so I'd have to say for them, extremely good movie. I recommend it, but you have to be strong-willed and be able to watch 3 hours of just singing. And when it comes to normal movies where you take away songs from original artists, I'd have to say a movie. It's called Lords of Dogtown, and if you haven't seen it, I really do recommend it. It's an entire movie about just skateboarding and about where the modern sense of it originated in the 70s in California, and it goes through all that. But the songs on it are really good. They have a couple Ted Nugent songs, some Nazareth, Social Distortion, some Pink Floyd, and Jimi Hendrix, and so it's a really good score, and I like it. It's one of my favorite movies. And so, how about you guys?
Gary, you can go ahead and go because I'm thinking still.
I think in terms of movies, like score-wise, I mean, I don't know if it counts as score, but probably Star Wars with like the giant orchestras, and people recognize Star Wars music off the bat. And I'd like seeing it as a kid. I just thought it sounded great, along with the great movies. And something interesting that Alex brought up, and I want to bring up too, soundtracks in video games, along with like scores of video games and actual soundtracks. Like score-wise, I'd probably say Assassin's Creed and Uncharted. They do a great job with the score.
Uncharted, man.
Yes.
And in more of a comedic terms, I think Saints Row does great with soundtracks. And Saints Row 2, they had a lot of like 80s music, like
yeah.
like Aha, Take on Me, Everybody's Working for the Weekend. Saints Row 4, they had Paula Abdul, Opposite Attract. And this is the first time I heard that song, and I thought it was really good. And they had like Biz Markie, Just a Friend, and just hearing those, it's pretty fun. Like when you just drive around in a car or something, and you just hear those songs.
Yeah. Now, I honestly, okay, so my favorite movie soundtrack, I'm debating whether or not between Back to the Future, which has some bias to it because that's one of my favorite trilogies of all time, or Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings had a really good soundtrack towards it, which was produced, I believe, by Howard Shore, and there were like 10 hours of just music that he made for this movie. So, and it's pretty memorable too if you watch the trilogy. So, I also want to bring up a point to a lot of people: the difference between a score and a soundtrack. Just real quick, scores are almost all instrumental compositions. and a score is basically the background sound you will hear in a game or a TV show or a movie. And a soundtrack is more or less the I'm trying to think of the word for it, the action type music. The music you will hear of
In the background.
yeah, well, that's kind of like the score, but like what you're saying, in the background where this is where this fight scene is going to happen. There might be a soundtrack named fight scene or something. I don't know, but that's the soundtrack that will always be recognized for that fight scene if you listen to it enough. Now the score is more or less just the background music, and it's really hard to find good music as well. A website that I use is called The Music Bed, which you can get like really good music for pretty cheap. And one of my friends did some music for me, but I haven't heard from him for a while, so kind of sucks. But if you have somebody like that can do music for you, always a better option. Now, game-wise, since Gary brought it up, I would have to say either Uncharted or BioShock, because BioShock has a really weird musical feel to it. The overall atmosphere, it feels very dark, dreary, but it feels like all the music is made out of like what are they called? Organs, just like the pipes and the organs, and you can just hear all the different noises coming from the songs. And so I would have to go with that anyways.
I also want to update my answer for also video games. Skyrim, it had a great soundtrack and score.
The score was amazing in that game. Just like walking, just on a horse, going through the forest, and just hearing like that nice, just that nice noise.
And during like the fight scenes, if you fight a dragon or something, just the epic songs, and like in the last like part of the main story quest, because I've been playing it recently. I got to that point. Just hearing the music is really fantastic. And another thing, web series that I've already brought up before, Ruby, made by Rooster Teeth, one of my favorite things ever. They had a great score, and they also had good soundtrack. Because I have some of the songs, like these are actual songs from on my phone, and I really like them.
Yeah, that web series has been really good. So, Sam, you have any other answer to give for that?
Ride Along sucks. That's about it.
All right. So here is another question. We might actually we actually got 5 questions this week. I was only planning on doing 3, but we might just do 5 for, just for it.
Just for the halibut.
Yep. So the last question comes from Captain Blowfish. What is up with... I need to get a membership thing going, or like a website, like
not because we don't like
users.
it, not because we don't like the Captain Blowfish, just because we want to know who you are and we want to know why you picked Captain Blowfish, because it is a
maybe
good
you
name.
like Blowfish.
Yeah, I'm not
maybe
sure.
You like Finding Nemo. Maybe you like Clownfish.
That is true, but I want to know if Captain Blowfish has submitted one of these questions before and just changed his name.
True.
I just want to make sure that it's, I don't know. Anyways,
We need to know if he's the real Captain Blowfish.
Are you the real Captain Blowfish, Captain Blowfish? Get your detective skills going on that, Gary.
Oh, dude, let me get my flask and I'll head out.
So, and that actually pertains to this question. Captain
Watch
Blowfish
Flood on YouTube.
asks, "Hey guys, I go to Forest. Don't know who you are, but I will find you."
You didn't say that in the question. Just to be clear.
No, I'm saying that to him. I want to know who this person is. Saw Flood and really liked it. Although I have a question. How was it thought of and created? So we're going to just go with that one first, and then we'll answer the second question to it. So, Gary, do you want to explain that?
How was it thought of? Yeah, I might have said before, we plan, we have this thing at our school called STN, Student Television Network, and we're going to have a meeting. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a day to make a short little video downtown. And me and Alex, we're trying to come up with ideas.
It's kind of a disaster, by the way, just saying.
We'll get to that. And we're taking this very seriously, because this is our freshman year, which is last year, and we kind of wanted to make something really good in that short period of time. And so we just come up with these ideas, just like our first original thing for Flood, was a detective coming and walking into a cafe and meeting his sweetheart, and she asked how his day is going, and it's kind of like a flashback type thing, but he goes through his day through a series of events. And then Alex and I started getting to this idea on a very deep level, and it basically led to Flood.
So, how it led from that was I remember thinking of, I don't know, I must have been watching some weird time travel thing on TV or something, but I kept thinking and I kept thinking about it, and I was just kind of, I don't know, kind of thinking of a time travel element to the story, and I kind of pitched it to Gary. What I had at first wasn't at all that great. It was really lacking, but I mean it's a first draft, so it's going to lack. But it was kind of lacking, and we slowly improved on it, and we ended up coming with this whole idea of the story with Daniels, which if you haven't seen it yet, I mean it's been out for a while, but we'll put a link.
And you
on
should
the
go
thing.
watch it.
And you should go watch it, of course. Yes. Now,
And you shouldn't go see Ride Along.
no, don't go see Ride Along, right, Sam? Sam.
No!
But basically, we wrote Flood, and then only like 8 people showed up to the meeting, so we didn't really do anything. And then like the county media festival, and our teacher said, "Okay, we want you guys, like everyone to the class, make an entry," and we basically had a month.
Yeah, because I mean,
And
we're
there was a
kind of
time
slacking.
limit, which I don't really like time limits to like contests like this, because depending on the story, like I said before early in this podcast, we crammed down from like 9 or 10 minutes to 7 minutes, and we cut a lot down. But through the month, we just made it, and yeah, Alex, you have anything to say about that?
And so we started making it, and whenever we finished that one, we had this, idea. We knew that, we kept looking back at it, being like, oh, if we only had more time, we'd do this. Now, this year, we actually redid the entire film.
I'm gonna remake.
Yeah, we did.
And
It was, we didn't change the basis story, but we definitely added to it.
yeah, it went from being 7 minutes to just under 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's like 19 minutes and 51 seconds or something like that.
And you should go watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 20 minutes on YouTube because I added like bumper stuff for it, but it's definitely something unique to us, and I mean, it's something that's really interesting in my mind because I had never seen anything like that done on our grade level, I suppose, because we were, just freshmen. We wouldn't.
Yeah, people, they like to rag on the freshmen, saying they break the equipment and they can't really do anything. And after we won third place out of all like drama high school level, and our teacher and people were just like, that's unheard of for freshmen to do so well. And it definitely got, at least I hope it got some of the stereotypes, down, and it kind of, we proved ourselves in a way, showed our worth and what we can do.
And you'll definitely, if you go watch it, you'll see just how much work we put into it. Now, there's actually a second part to that question, and this is something that's going to take a little bit to explain because I'm not sure which one of us actually thought of this. I just know it was something that we did. But the question is, again, from Captain Blowfish, why the black and white, but the blue future elements within the film?
I
know
remember,
it's a complex
like,
question, but I'm curious. Thanks. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Don't worry.
I remember this because I remember texting you, and I'm not trying to like main character syndrome or anything, but I remember I had the idea and I suggested it to you. I was like, okay, so this is all in black and white because it's like a noir, however you pronounce it, style film. And with these cyberpunk elements, it would have felt weird, just having it in black and white. And so I thought,
I think we experimented with several different colors too, and then I finally was like, "Can we just do it in blue?" And the blue really did feel.
It
good.
stands out. It stands out.
Yeah.
It's like a bright kind of blue, and it definitely stand out because that's what we want to put emphasis on. The beginning of the story, you don't really see anything, and then you see this kind of this cyberpunk steampunk technology, and you're like, whoa, that's different.
And the whole blue, I guess it really did contrast well because it's like, oh, black and white, and then you see the blue and it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna watch this. There's some color to it. Let's see what this is about. And just the elements that I put into it, I know that I really do like to always go back and improve my effects, so who knows, I might go back and find some nicer ways to make some things, but the way it turned out, I really liked it. So I'm gonna go ahead and find the other questions real quick. Gary, do you have anything else to say about that real quick?
No, not really.
All right, 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and find these. I misplaced them somewhere.
So Sam, ride along.
Stop. Stop.
He's dying. Don't do it to him.
Stop. I can't.
Hey, hold out for Lego Movie. Your faith in humanity will be restored.
I'm legit pretty excited right now because I have
What kind of names are these?
I have like 5 or 6 good books I can be able to read over this weekend, and I'm going to be able to play Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and so I'm just going to use that as something to keep my mind off of Ride Along, and so hopefully it'll help me out.
So here's our new questions. Again, what's up with the names, guys? From Octopus Master, what is your
The
favorite?
master of octopi.
What is your favorite movie? Lego Movie. Wait, no, wait. Yeah, Lego Movie, and then tied with it would be Back to the Future trilogy. Unless it's just talking about single movies. Lego Movie, definitely, as a single movie. You, Gary?
Favorite movie? A movie that definitely holds a place in my heart. Probably, I know it's really strange, but Forrest Gump. That's definitely one of my favorite movies. And I just really like the story and the character.
You know, actually, what my favorite movie is Ride Along.
Shut up!
I felt like Ice Cube's performance was pretty top notch in that movie.
Ice Cube, he really got emotion. In his
See, this is the
character.
kind of crap
He brought
that
it
you
to life.
say. This is what breaks families apart.
Sam's gonna quit the podcast.
Are you the dad of the family? I'm confused.
I'm the mad at Ice Cube for even participating in that guy. Because I am.
You're like the dad, and I'm like the mom.
Don't do that. Because that puts
Alex,
an odd image
please
in my
don't
head.
make it weird.
Yeah, you just made it very odd. Thank you for that.
I'm sorry. So, I'm sorry. Sam, what is your favorite movie?
That is like it's hard for me to say that. I don't know. In all honesty, no matter, even if I like political movies, my favorite kind of movies are like silent movies and movies that are a little bit older. And so, very, very cliche, but I do love Casablanca. It's one of my favorite movies. And actually a modern silent movie. If you haven't seen it, I certainly recommend it. It's called The Artist, and I think it won Best Picture for the Oscars a couple years back, but it's an amazing movie. Yeah, it's an amazing movie. I really, really like it. If not those 2 movies, then I'd have to say it's called The Wave. It's a German movie, and it explores social effects and how consistency with something can make normal teenagers turn into what the Nazis were back in the 40s. And so it's a really good movie. Very, very odd kind of movie, but I like it. And so those are about it.
All right. And our final question from DF, capital DF, Dark. What are you guys working on?
Stuff.
Thanks.
I'm working on a podcast.
Yeah, I'm also working on a podcast.
I'm on a podcast.
That counts. Let's just say we can't tell you.
All right.
Does that work?
Well, I
mean-
can tell you what I'm doing.
All right, you go ahead and tell them what you're doing. I'm just telling them I can't tell them. Neither can Gary. Gary, you're a
I'm
confidential.
telling them that
There is something I can tell you though. That
Oh yes, I think we could talk about this, right?
I wrote a script probably a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, and I'm looking to make that very, very soon for the same County Meat Festival, and I'm excited to get to work on that with Alex, and look out for it.
And after that, future. You can ask that question again in a year. Maybe see where we're at. If we're even here a year, I don't know. Let's have high hopes for the future though. So I think, is that okay, guys? We good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything to add real quick?
No. I'm working on right now. I am working on the furthest thing I have that includes anything to do with filmography is it's for my Spanish class. We have to create a product and do it. And this is actually a product that's going on the market, but it has not been released yet. and it's extremely cheap. It's only $150. But what it is basically it's an armband that it goes off of your arm movements and your muscle movement, and it can control your computer and your phone and all that kind of stuff. And so we had to improve it for Spanish class. And so what we did is we turned it to everything electronic. And so I have a little thing I'm doing with that. And so I don't know if it'll be a big deal, but it's certainly something I like to do. But over the summer, I went on an Italy trip, and I took a lot of photos and took some videos and stuff. And I was actually planning on beforehand making a small documentary on it, but I took off for a little while, being busy with schoolwork. And so I'm really thinking if I have the time, I might delve into that and do something along that sort. But I'm not sure.
All right. Well, I believe that's it for this week, guys. So thank you, Gary, for talking with us today again. We always appreciate having you on.
Not a problem.
And thank you for talking with us today on this late Valentine's episode. We love you guys, the 15 of you guys to watch. Appreciate you.
Remember, submit questions.
Yes, submit questions, and you can go ahead and submit those over at our Twitter, at philosophy_film, or over at our website, which will be in the description below.
Also, if I haven't said it enough, go watch Flood, please.
Yes, go watch Flood, because stuff and things. So thank you for tuning in with us this week, Film Philosophy. Thank you, Sam, for talking with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Alex.
And you can now download our podcast on SoundCloud. And I've actually got a message the other day about iTunes, so look for that maybe next week. iTunes download. So yeah, see you guys. Thank you.
Adios.
Thank you, Sam.
Adios.
Right along.
Shut up.